G'day everybody, my name is Elliot Waters and you're listening to the Dysregulated podcast. As always, thank you for tuning in. Alright, okay, I've remembered what I forgot yesterday, so I'll get into that in a minute, but I want to do a bit of a report of how my day has been today because there's been some good and there's been some bad. The good is that I went for a run and I went to the gym. The bad is that I am massive at the moment and I really need to do something about it, which is exactly what I was trying to do today. So the run actually went quite well. So this is a track that I've run I say recently, but it's not because I haven't run for 4 months or something. But previous to this, on some of my half-hearted efforts to try and get back into some sort of fitness, there's this track that I run and has proven to be very, very difficult for me to complete. Well, that was with the vape. Take the vape away and it appears, once again, here's some more evidence that my lung capacity has somewhat recovered. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going to be winning medals or anything. I'm not breaking any of my personal records, nothing like that. Not yet anyway. But at the same time, there is a definite improvement in my ability to sustain, intense cardiovascular, stimuli. And that's really good. So running, in other words. So that's really good, which is great. And it makes me think, man, if I only gave up sooner, but whatever, that's negative. We don't want to listen to that. The positive is by quitting the vapes, my cardiovascular output and capacity seems to have improved, and that is good news moving forward. So not only did I go for a run today, I went to the gym as well. I'm doing it all today, run and gym and work. But this is the thing, I've said it on the show before, although I think it was a while ago now, but, exercise, unfortunately, is not enough for some people. And unfortunately, for me today, exercise was not enough, although it definitely helped things, but it wasn't enough, the run or the gym, to get over some of these anxiety sort of jitters that I've got today. The reason for that, I think, is because of the 5 a.m. starts. I'm on that cycle again. So my sleep hasn't been, my sleep's been okay, all things considered. But, when you get up at 10 to 4, there's only so much you can sort of, write home about when it comes to sleep. So, and then obviously when you're tired, what do? You reach for caffeinated drinks. And that certainly, in my opinion, makes these, and this is nothing groundbreaking, but it makes my rapid mood changes worse. So today's been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Just constant, especially the back end of today. Just like I'm talking every 10 minutes, boom, change of mood, boom, change of mood. Not just down, this is bouncing up towards some sort of euphoria as well. But even that's not, I use this word a lot, but it's not sustainable, and it isn't. And these rapid mood changes, they tire you out. And I think this is partly why I get so tired at the back end of the weeks, because, going to work, if I'm doing the 5 a.m.s or I'm just not getting good sleep, which is just about a given, the up and down, up and down, up and down, it wears me out. So, I've said before that maybe it's the social component of my life that is sort of the issue, but it might not be just that, although I think that's definitely part of the puzzle, but it could also be these rapid mood changes, which are just, they're very tiring. What can I say? But, what can you do? I need caffeine or else I fall asleep on the forklift. Bad news. We do not want that to happen. But it is hard knowing that while I'm chugging this pre-workout just to stay awake, that, I'm also causing myself, distress in the coming, half hour. It's coming, but I am awake and feeling all of it. So that's good, I suppose. I don't know. But maybe the anxiety today is because it's state of origin. Now, most people won't care, but state of origin is Australia's biggest rivalry, New South Wales, yes, versus Queensland in the Rugby League three-game series. And this is game 2, and Queensland won the first game, of course. And the whole country needs, even Queensland, needs New South Wales to win. Because if we don't, that's the series gone and Queensland win again. Boring. So I don't know, maybe it's the state of origin that's making me a little bit anxious, a little bit on edge, because I do not have much confidence. But we'll see. New South Wales is the premier state. Hopefully tonight it's the premier rugby league team as well. And I swear State of Origin is not sponsoring this show, although it definitely sounds like it. So yes, today was, as far as the running goes, much, much better. And again, it's more evidence that the vape probably was, holding me back a little bit, because when I think about the last couple of times I've done proper sort of running, this is a couple of months ago now, but, right in the middle of my vape usage, and compare it to now, I haven't done anything different. I'm just sort of going for a run again, and there's this big improvement, and I think it's more than placebo. So, I still have, and I'll talk about this more in a future episode, I still have moments where I sort of miss the vape a bit and think, if I just bought one now and, I won't use it all the time. I'll just have it like when I get up in the morning. Yeah, right, I tried that. But this is more evidence to say, no, this is doing good. There's tangible evidence. This is real. And this is doing good. So let's keep at it. And I'm saving so much money. That's a really good part of it as well. It's helping that little bit of financial distress that maybe at times I've had over the course of the podcast, but over the course of probably my whole life. Now, I said in the episode, it was yesterday I posted it, that there was something big that I'd forgotten to say and I couldn't think of it. And about 15 minutes ago, it came to me. And that is that I'm going back to therapy again. I don't know how I forget that, but anyway, I did. So there's been a few episodes now where I've gone on about returning to therapy. I think there's one that's actually called Returning to Therapy. So I didn't want to do a specific episode, and jinx it. There's a bit of that OCD thought. Don't want to sort of, jinx these things. But next week, I'm going back to therapy, and I'm very excited because I've done one episode, My Therapy Reflections, which supposedly, I don't know, give it a listen if you haven't, but, the feedback was quite positive. It was insightful for people and it was raw and vulnerable, all that sort of stuff. But the problem is I haven't had a psychological appointment since. So it's still My Therapy Reflections 1, and I'm very, very excited to bring to you My Therapy, that's the carver, Reflections 2. I've had, because I'm anxious, I've had quite a bit of carver, and it's funny. It's a depressant, technically, a bit like alcohol, and that's why I've sort of subbed it in for alcohol, and alcohol's out. But at the same time, it can be quite stimulating, and it's, I don't know, it has helped the anxiety, or at least the anxious thoughts, but when it comes to the physiological sort of effects, I'm still feeling it, and in some ways I feel like the carver has sort of fueled the physiological effects of the anxiety a little bit. So I don't know, just the way I'm talking and stuff. Again, it's just probably inner critic stuff, but I don't know, the way that I'm talking and I'm you can't see me at the moment, but I'm gesticulating very broadly. There's a lot of sort of energy floating around, but again, it could be because of State of Origin. Come on, New South Wales. Also coming very, very soon will be the start of the intake interviews. Just today, I've had 2 people reach out who want to come on the show. And I'll tell you, both I think are going to offer some absolutely amazing insights. I said to both of them, Forget about the podcast. I'd just like to have a chat with you and pick your brain and go through some things, if that's okay. But I will be recording it, of course. But it's very exciting. It's very exciting because of the caliber of participant, well, not participant, I don't know, what's the word? See, here's the carver, I'm just a bit jittery, bit on edge. Interviewee, I suppose. There's a word. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm very excited because the caliber of person and their story that I hopefully will be bringing to you on the show sooner rather than later is right up there. And that's very, very exciting because, I don't know, it's one thing for me to yap on, what are we up to now, 140 episodes or something about me, and there's so much more to tell. Don't worry. But to be able to bring a snapshot of other people's worlds and experiences and what that all means, I don't know. I think that's huge. A massive compliment, I suppose, to begin with, that these participants, although that's the wrong word, I'm thinking sciencey. Anyway, would want to share their stories on this show, which is great. Thank you so much. Cop that in a critic. We're doing good here. This is good. But also the quality of the experiences and the insights that hopefully will be brought, I think is just, I don't know. It's mind-blowing, and I cannot wait to bring the intake interviews to you as soon as possible. The first person I'll be interviewing has already been settled. I'm not going to give too much away, but, about 75% of this podcast includes her. So, I know, big stuff. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say. But the good news is I went running and I didn't, have a heart attack, which is great. I went to the gym, felt pretty good, I wasn't feeling too, everyone's looking at me and, so the social anxiety was pushed to the side, which is great. So that's great. And probably the biggest news is I am going back to therapy next week. I'm going back to therapy and I can't wait to bring to you my therapy reflections too. All right, I've got to go because it's state of origin and come on, New South Wales, Australia's number one state, in case you didn't know, New South Wales, home, of course, of Newcastle and home of me. So go the Blues, and I will see you soon. I'll see you next time here on the Dysregulated podcast.